All right, and welcome everyone to a very special episode of Sidelines Pass. We're having a feature featuring the NBA Finals. We're talking a lot about what's going on with the Warriors and Cavs right now. And my name is Joshua Thompson, as your host, and bringing on a very special couple of panelists. We got Ben all the way from Japan, and we got Bill coming all the way from Boston, and we're going to be talking a lot about what is basketball, what will be basketball, what hopefully will be an exciting game two and beyond. And gentlemen, thanks for joining me today.
Glad to be here, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So we want to talk about, I guess, the first and most important thing that's on everyone's mind is the end of Game One between the Warriors and Cavs, and we're going to take a microscope into this Kyrie Irving injury and the compound effects that it has on the playoffs overall. As everyone knows, that Kyrie Irving, for the majority of the game, for the entire four quarters, was playing like a man, as like a bat out of hell, playing bananas balls to the walls defense, and what ended up being an unfortunate knee fracture injury completely what seemed to be changed the whole dynamic and finish of game one. And this coming in with LeBron James scoring 40 plus points. So I guess I'll start with you, Bill. Uh, what do you think? How much of an impact do you think that Kyrie's injury plays on this entire series?
I think it's the main thing, to be honest. LeBron and Kyrie are probably the only two players on that team that can create shots for A, themselves, and B, for their teammates. And like you said, his defense on Steph was, in the beginning of that game, in the whole first half, maybe late in the second quarter, Steph was cold. It was hard to get shots up. Kyrie did a great job on that, and it's just, like I said, creating shots for himself as well as his teammates. I don't know if they can get that back. LeBron's going to have to do legit everything possible besides maybe rebound to, get himself more shots maybe. Well, actually less shots because he's got to get more of his teammates involved now. So, it's going to be tough. He's definitely got a big impact.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think Kyrie heard all the noise in the media about having to hide him defensively, and just he stepped up huge. He said, "No, I'm a legitimate defensive player, and I can defend Steph Curry." He stepped up. He defended Steph Curry incredibly well. He played him to not even a draw. He was better than Steph this game, and that chase down block with 25 seconds left to save the game was incredible. If that shot from Amon Shumpert goes in on the putback, he's the hero of the game, really. It's Kyrie, breakout game for Kyrie. He's being talked about as outplaying the MVP, and the series is 1-0 Cavs. And missing that shot just completely changes everything. And it goes to overtime. He busts his knee up again, and now he's out for the year. It's sad. It's really disappointing because I was really looking forward to the rest of the series, and now it seems like it's probably going to be over fairly quick.
No, that's quite understandable. I mean, especially when you look at that first quarter of the performance where, I mean, granted, the Warriors do get off to a slow start. We'll get to that in a second. But it had much in part to do with Kyrie's overall defense, which is something that you don't hear much of, especially throughout the season. Granted that Kyrie has been mostly an offensive player. He's been mostly a facilitator in order to get the offense for the Cavs going. But considering that his defense was most in part the reason for that slow start for the Warriors to go 3-15 in the first, what was about 8 to 12 minutes. So I got to ask you, ask both of you, we'll start with Ben first. Let's go with the over middle overreaction. Kyrie Irving being out gives the Warriors a series.
I think that's a true statement. They got what, four? Now they have four guys in LeBron, and there's not a whole lot you can do there, unless J.R. Smith goes absolutely insane. I think J.R. Smith has to step up and make 7 threes a game for the rest of the series, or do you really have a shot?
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you're taking this as very accurate, or maybe somewhat of an underreaction as far as giving the Warriors a series, and maybe, or am I hearing a sweep, 5 games?
I think a sweep is probably going to happen.
Okay. What do you think, Bill?
I mean, game one, it took an absolute Herculean effort by LeBron and Kyrie going absolutely insane to stay in the game even when the Warriors had the jitters and weren't really firing on all cylinders. It's not looking good for the Cavs, I don't think.
Okay. And Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, man, it's. I definitely think it's probably right in the middle. It's definitely going to be tough, but the Cavs still have the best player on the planet, and who knows what he can't do. This will probably be the best thing he'll ever have to do in his career if he can come out and win this series. I mean, like you said, a heroic performance, 44 points, and they had a chance to win the game. And if they do at the end of regulation, Kyrie doesn't get hurt, and it's like they didn't score a point in overtime until like the last layup that LeBron had in the last seconds when Kyrie was out. So I don't know how much they can do without Kyrie. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they'll get one at home. I think Golden State will win second game, and then either 3 or 4 can go either way. But Cavs will get one of those. Golden State will steal one. Probably not steal one, actually. They'll probably dominate one and then bring it back home to Game 5 and win it.
What do you think about the ISO LeBron play to end the game? Was that the best thing they could have done?
Personally, yes. I mean, granted, I'm a Lakers fan, so you see your life since year 2000 ISO play. But when it comes down to it, you want as few defenders in the play as possible. And I'm thinking about this from a coach's perspective. If you draw up a screen for that individual player, you run the risk of doubling down on the best shooter, and that lowers the shooting percentage. LeBron James was doing exactly what we called for to do in Game 1, which was hit the effective jump shot. So he was hitting within about 18 in for the most part, and had he had about 2 more feet, maybe 1 more foot closer towards the rim, I think that he would have hit that shot on Andre Iguodala, who played great defense on that last play, by the way. But still, they managed to get 2 great shots off, not just one. Yes, the second one was a putback, but I seriously think that was one of the best plays you call, given that situation, especially when you had great rebounders at that time. Because, hey, it could have fell short, and Tristan Thompson could have came up with it. You also could have had Mozgov come up with a quick play, but it ended up going long, and Iman Shumpert came up with what I'm sorry, that was one of the best putback shots I've seen in a long while.
Mid-air, yeah, that was nice.
So I think an isolation play really drew up the best situation for the Cavs to have a second chance at the basket.
I just think, though, the type of isolation play is questionable. Why have LeBron dribble it up all the way when all game he's been catching it in the high post and just backing people down?
Yeah.
That's a much more effective play because he's back to the basket and he can back down anyone. And you end up
go ahead, finish,
and then you end up in the paint. It's a much higher percentage look than trying to just ISO, face-up, dribble Iguodala from the three-point line. And, I mean, they had enough time left to get LeBron a catch in the high post and have him run the same play he'd been running all night, going towards the basket instead of fading away, and create more problems as they try and rotate help to him. Then you open up the cutting lanes for Mozgov and Mozgov wasn't in the game. For Thompson.
For Thompson. Bill?
Yeah, I obviously, like LeBron said in that one game versus the Bulls, like when he wrote off just David Blatt's play, just like give me the ball and we're either gonna win it or we don't. That you want the best player in the world to have the ball. But in that situation, if you're LeBron, I want you to go to the rim. You're the strongest guy ever. You're going to get the best player in the world calls, just like Jordan did, just like LeBron's been getting his whole career, especially these last couple of years, especially in that game. But if you're going to
so good.
if you're gonna do the isolation shot, honestly, I want everybody clear out and give Kyrie the ball. He's the better shooter, and he can create better, I think, than LeBron. LeBron creating for himself, dribbling past people and getting to the basket, overpowering them, whereas Kyrie can definitely shake and bake somebody and get a good jump shot, and he's money from mid range. Money.
Yeah.
I think it's a higher percentage shot of Kyrie doing a jump shot in the ISO.
But who do you want taking that shot? You want LeBron, or do you want the guy in his first finals, even if he's playing out of his mind that game? I feel like LeBron's not going to let anyone else take that shot.
I mean, yeah, I don't think so either, but I wouldn't be mad if Kyrie took it.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say, to answer your question, that the back down a post-up shot is actually a dead ball. And this is not only from experience. This is from this is going along with what both of you said. So we're talking about drawing up a foul within the last 10 seconds of play. Very rare does it happen that a ref nowadays will give you the Jordan call within the last 10 seconds of play, simply because they want you to play through that. Now, to play through, you have to play through a much more focused on the rim shot, which is going to be a face-up shot. How many players are going to give you a post-up shot within the lower box or along the baseline without throwing an extra defender at you? Throwing your back to the basket allows for another defender to come up and sneak on you and disrupt the play, which lowers the percentage of shot. So the percentage of shot that LeBron James made versus a post-up shot is actually a higher shot. Now, granted, Bill, you made an interesting point. Kyrie taking that shot actually would be a much higher percentage shot than LeBron James taking the shot as far as a jump shot is concerned, simply because Kyrie's amount of jump shots are higher in percentage and accuracy than LeBron James's. But because LeBron James has a bigger body and is able to have a lot more power creating a shot and finishing the shot, LeBron James overall wins the argument of who should take the last shot and what's the last shot that he should have. Now, going back to your first question about taking down the ball, momentum. You're either going to foul LeBron James, get a hopeful charge, which again, that goes back into the point about refs calling a call within the last 10 seconds, or just leaving it as a bang play. Mm-hmm. But either way, that momentum is going to help you get closer towards the basket. Yes, he should have went in a little bit closer, but you have a veteran guard who's been in the league at least a little bit longer than you have, playing on you on defense, and so he knows what's coming. We all know what's coming. Right. You could have told someone in your area, hey, LeBron James has got the last ball, and then someone's like, he's going to take a jump shot.
Iguodala even said that he knew what he was going to do.
It's a telegraph play. You have to put the ball in the hands of the best player on the court. No questions asked. Whether he's going to take a 2% shot from the half court, he's going to take a near 100% shot, getting a quick dunk, you have to put it in his hands. Not a lot of players are calling for the ball at that time, but not a lot of players also have a higher percentage of making either a face-up jump shot or something down the post. So I think that he took a really good shot at that play.
I agree with that, definitely.
Now let's talk about putting the ball in big man's hands. So now with Kyrie out, LeBron James scored what was 44 points and ended up with a loss. However, social media. Go ahead.
Can he even do more than that?
Well, let's talk about that.
Backing down and being incredibly efficient.
How much is it going to take for LeBron to win now? I mean, you're looking at now Matt Dellavedova is going to have to step up into that position, which he has done before, and it has been successful. But granted that there have been multiple situations which have allowed for this team to be successful for Matt at the point. One in case which, especially with the Atlanta series, how their main spot-up shooter, Kyle Korver, went down with an injury in one of the first games. So given this whole perspective of Kyrie being out, Matt actually being very comfortable at the starting position, and now you have the dominance of Tristan Thompson on the box. Uh, do you think that LeBron James needs to score that much again in order to get a win this time, or actually maybe even take over the series?
As long as Dellavedova can dive at a few more ankles, maybe take a player step.
Oh, yeah, it was all with the dirty play. I, yes, I'll still go with. I'll err on the side of caution to say that he is a scrappy player. I won't say that he necessarily needs to have those type of plays in order for this team to be successful, but I could see that. That was one of the biggest fears I had for Steph Curry, granted, with his injury history happening. But Bill, what do you think? Do you think that LeBron James needs to score 40 plus, or can he kind of adjust his game in order for this Cavs team to win?
He doesn't need to score 40 plus. What he needs to do is get. It was an interesting take on what Stephen A. and Wilbon were saying after the game, that he needs to be north of 8 assists. I think he needs a double-double every game, either high 20s or definitely low 30 points wise. Doesn't need 40, but I'd say either some 27 to 35 points in that range and at least 10 assists, maybe even more, maybe like 12 or 13. I don't think the rebounds need to be there. They're pretty strong on the boards. They killed Golden State on the boards with Mozgov and Thompson, but he definitely he can't take 38 shots again. That's how many shots. I'm pretty sure it was 38 that got him 44 points. So he definitely needs to lessen that and higher on the assists for them to have a chance. And just like you guys said, and Ben was saying, J.R. Smith, he hit his first 2 shots of that game, and then he went ice cold. If he can be consistent, LeBron's assist totals go up. Same with Shumpert. They need to hit threes, and I think that's what LeBron needs to do. He needs to get the assist up and make more plays for his teammates for sure.
The problem with that, though, is many of James' assists come when he gets doubles or when they're sending help defense on him, and they're just not. They're leaving him alone. Or they're showing a little bit of help, but they're effectively leaving him alone and focusing on keeping all the other players out of rhythm. And just if LeBron's going to score 44 and Shumpert's going to touch the ball for the first time in 5 minutes for that putback shot, I mean, who's to say if Shumpert hadn't had 3 or 4 more shots in rhythm leading up to that putback shot goes in because he's feeling it more.
Yeah.
That is an interesting point. Granted that Shumpert, after going for a really long drought as far as from beyond the arc, hit 2 big 3-pointers in about, I believe it was the second or third quarter, along with J.R. Smith's 3-pointers. So he was stepping up on the offensive side. I guess my question is, if you're LeBron James now and you do have to, as Bill said, create those 10 assists, are you now being the primary ball handler at this point? If you're LeBron James, are you taking more of a guard role, or are you looking more down on the block and basically leading the way? And I believe that LeBron James led the way to show Tristan Thompson on how to dominate on the boards. But do you continue that trend, or do you start to back off and say, I'm going to establish a jump shot and try to facilitate a little bit more via Magic Johnson?
I just don't know how much LeBron can do if the other defenders are all staying at home. Golden State is so good at switching perimeter stuff and staying home on shooters, and there's just not a lot of opportunity for LeBron to create assists.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree with Ben. That's why Golden State, I think, is going to win this in 5. The whole first game, they let him do his ISO stuff. Like Ben said, go ahead and get 45, 50 points a game. No skin off our back if nobody else can hurt us, and nobody else did hurt them except Kyrie. But I mean, you got great scores in Thompson, Curry, and everybody else chipping in. Draymond Green had double-digit points. Iguodala had double-digit points.
It's so good. It's so good this game.
Dellavedova is definitely going to have to handle the ball coming in for Kyrie, but I think LeBron's going to have to take over that kind of a guard role for sure. I think he has to.
Okay, well, let's switch roles. Let's get off the offensive side, because we know that the Warriors are definitely dominating in that aspect, especially being the season leaders in offense and offensive efficiency. But let's go back. Let's go to the other side, where we'll talk about defense. And Bill, Ben, you both touched on this a lot, where the Warriors are doing via Detroit, where they're letting one player, a Kobe-esque type, as in, and we're speaking about LeBron, go off for 40, go off for 50, and let him do what he does. But we're paying attention to the support cast. So do you think that the result of this game was a lot more of the Warriors letting LeBron James score, or playing better defense on the support players?
I don't know if they're letting him score, but I think they're making him work. If he wants to back down every possession, he's going to score efficiently, but it's going to take a lot out of him. I mean, you saw in overtime he had just about nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
He got less efficient. He started settling for more jumpers, and it just fell apart because you can only do so much. And I think the Warriors think, hey, if LeBron scores 50, where are their other 50 points going to come from? We get 100 points a game. If LeBron gets 50, what other players are going to score a combination of 50 points for the Cavs? I mean, I don't think Mozgov's going to go off for double digits again necessarily. He was on fire last game. It's going to have to come from some combination of J.R. Smith, Della Vedova, and Mozgov, I guess. That's really all their scoring punch, unless James Jones can somehow get hot from the street.
I could imagine here sitting here and Oklahoma City staring at James Jones, who's now in the finals. Hey, Oklahoma City, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm comfortable now. All of a sudden stepping up into a role that he's never really seen before, and he's been exposed for the player that he is, a lack thereof. And all of a sudden going off for 20 in the finals, we're like, hey, you guys traded me. Who's out?
Yeah.
Bill, what's your take on this? Is this more of is the result of the inability to create that offense a result of just letting James tire himself out, or is this a great job of not only the starters but the bench playing very well on the Cavs support cast?
Real quick, were you the one that said that it might be the return of Mike Miller?
I wish I was.
Because I don't know if somebody said that on Sidelines or if I saw it on Twitter. I want to say someone said it on Sidelines, but Mike Miller's a veteran, man. Maybe he can come and knock down some threes. But as far as the question, man, like Ben said, I don't think they're letting him score, but just Ben hit it on the nail, man. I hit it on the head. If he's going to score 50 points, he's going to be taking 38 shots a game. And that's a lot of shots. That means everybody else isn't going to be getting 10 shots, maybe 15 shots. That means the other people aren't going to score 50 points total, the rest of the cast. I think Steve Kerr set out from day one, let LeBron's going to score, and you just can't do anything about it. Just contest him as best as you can. Hope you can't stop him. Hope to contain him really means something here. Try to contain LeBron as best you can. He's going to hurt you whether you like it or not. Make sure nobody else can hurt you. And we're going to, just like Ben said, we're going to score 100 points a game. That's the best they can hope for. And I think that's going to work out. And now that Kyrie's out, they really don't need to worry on anybody else. Hey, they're going to get theirs except LeBron. Make sure J.R. Smith, Shumpert, or Mozgov isn't going to hurt you, or Mike Miller isn't going to hurt you for 20 points. Because if they hold any of them under 15 points, whoever, other than LeBron, they're going to win every game. I can't see them losing a game.
Now, we sit here and we joke about Mike Miller, but for anyone that...
I ain't joking.
Has a okay, but for anyone that has a memory of Mike Miller's presence on the Miami Heat, I believe it was the first championship run in which Mike Miller went off in one quarter for 15 points, 5 straight three-pointers, one of them with the shoe off, I believe.
Yep.
Any veteran...
Dallas quarter three? Oh, man, that was beautiful.
Any veterans play can essentially throw the game completely off. We saw that in the series with Josh Smith of Houston versus the Clippers. We've seen that with some veteran play of Zach Randolph and the Grizzlies. We've seen that in a couple of other players as well. And so what I'm hearing
Pierce.
is for the Warriors to be careful of veteran play.
Well, I think one more thing about LeBron before we move on. From a defensive standpoint, from a defensive scheme standpoint, Golden State has effectively turned LeBron into Carmelo Anthony. They've neutralized most of his passing, and they're just saying, okay, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us like Carmelo. Just
Oh,
ISO Carmelo forever.
oh wow. So
Wow.
we're completely done with all schemes here. We turn you into either you're going to beat us or you're not, and it's not going to matter because we're going to win anyway.
Yeah.
New York has Carmelo Anthony. Ouch.
When it comes to the veteran thing,
Carmelo's great. He's a great scorer, but he's not the best distributor. And
no.
when you remove James's amazing vision and distribution skills, you're left with Carmelo Anthony, effectively.
That's
Okay.
cool.
I'm going to hashtag that
Hashtag hot takes.
Carmelo in disguise. We'll make that an official hashtag for game 2. And Bill, what were you saying? We're talking about the veterans at this point.
Yeah. I don't think Shumpert is a veteran yet. I mean, he has been in the league a couple of years now. But J.R. Smith is a veteran. Maz Goff is a veteran. In my eyes, he's a veteran. He's been with Denver for a while now before he came over. Thompson is what, second year, so it's going to be Maz Goff, J.R. Smith, if you want to call Shumpert a veteran at this point, and then they're going to have to get points off the bench. They're not really deep. Their bench is old veterans. It's Mike Miller. It's James Jones. It's it's Kendrick Perkins.
From Kendrick?
I mean, he came in at the end of that one game, and then in that video that they shot, he had ice packs on his knees in the hot tub. He played 3 minutes. I mean, my man Perk, I love Perk. He'll always be a Celtic to me, but my man, he's done, man. He can't chip it. He's got a presence now a little bit. Oh yeah, and the Matrix is there too, so
Yes.
you might as well bring in Joey Hoops.
Now, talking about defense, and let's talk about slow starts for a second. Game 6 of the Memphis series, Game 5, Game 3 of the Memphis series, Game 1 of this series, the Warriors have been notorious for a very slow offensive start, where they're averaging somewhere about 10 points within the first 5-6 minutes, which is very uncanny for any type of West Coast offense. Now, is that a result of great defense that they're playing against, or just a poor, slow offense? Just real quick, Ben, go ahead and step up for that one.
Well, I think at the start of this game, and really throughout the whole game, the Cavaliers' energy on defense was fantastic. They were playing really, really tough defense, and it surprised me, definitely. They were really committed. They were really they left it all out on the table playing defense against this team. It was really difficult for the Warriors to get into any of their sets. They contained Curry really well on the pick and roll. But I think the main thing with the first unit was just nerves. They were clearly that there was so much adrenaline in their systems. They were clanking every shot long. They were firing up shots that they wouldn't normally take, and it just took them a while to settle into the game. I don't really think you're going to see that in Game 2. I think they're going to get off to a really fast start in Game 2.
And Bill?
I think it's a combination of both. Like Ben said, once again, Cleveland's defense was definitely coming out ambitious to do everything possible to stop the high-scoring offense of Golden State. But it's also unlucky, I guess, in the offensive for Golden State-wise, where sometimes they do get good shots and they're just not falling, or contested shots, which is on the defense. But obviously they get hot. All of a sudden, they got great scores. So here it comes. Come second quarter, end of the first and second half. But if you're Cleveland, you gotta. I mean, it's obviously great for them if you can start them off on a cold streak. You just got to be able to do it consistently, and and hold that lead that you get. I mean, they were up 15 at one point. You know what I mean? So they got to do better. They got to do better defensively when it comes to keeping them, contain them and contest it as best as they can.
I think the main problem with that, though, is the Cavaliers only have 6 guys, and
Yeah,
the
they're not
Warriors
deep.
throwing new looks and new lineups in there. I mean, Spates and Iguodala came in and just did fantastically. I think Spates and Iguodala could probably be the 4th or 5th best players on the Cavaliers roster at this point. And when the 8th and 9th guys on the Warriors bench could be starting for the Cavs, there's only so much LeBron can do.
Yeah, Maurice Spates was balling. I'll give him that. He was hitting jump shot. He's like, give me the ball and watch what I do with it. And I love that. He came out of nowhere and just went to work.
Curry and Thompson were a little nervous to start, and then Iguodala and Spates came in, and they weren't nervous at all. There was that steady veteran presence who'd been deep in playoffs before, and they're just ready to go. And coming off the bench is, I think, a little different from starting in this case because they know their role perfectly, and they're just going to do what they do. And they really settled the team down. They dug into that lead a little bit, and they put some more miles on the Cavs. And the later in the game it goes, the Warriors are all still fresh, and the Cavs are just getting more and more tired. I think they're just too deep.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting close to the end here, so I'm going to go ahead and round this out with a little buy or sell. Buy or sell, Mo Spates MVP of Game 1.
I don't know about. I'm not buying MVP, but I'm giving him the unsung hero.
Okay.
Second, Andre Iguodala MVP, unsung hero Maurice Spates.
Definitely. That one sequence that Iguodala pulled off after he thought he got pushed off on one end, he just kicked it into a different gear for about 3 or 4 minutes. His defensive intensity ratcheted up. He started making shots. It really felt like he was personally offended and said, "No, we're gonna do it now," and just took over the game for 3 or 4 minutes.
Buy or sell, most likely to end up on a milk carton, LeBron James game winner, or J.R. Smith's 3 points from deep.
I'm buying J.R. Smith's 3-pointers on the back of a milk carton. Man, he was there. He was in person. You could see him first 2 shots, and then whoop, he's missing. Man, gone.
Okay.
All I'm doing, I'm going to be monitoring J.R. Smith's Twitter feed because the game's on Sunday in Oakland, and there's some nice places to go out there, I've heard. So if he's on Twitter at 2 a.m. before Game 2, it's all over.
All right. And I'll leave you guys with this one last one. Buy or sell. Offense wins championships. Defense might win you a game.
I'm selling that. Definitely.
Selling that?
Other way around, man. Gotta be.
So we're sticking with the old mantra: offense wins games, defense wins championships.
I think,
yeah.
Yeah, I think a combination of both, if you've got them, like Golden State does, is pretty tough to beat.
Offense wins you games, the 4 games, but the defense of letting LeBron go to work and shutting everybody else down is going to win you that championship.
All right. Well, and there you have it. We're going to be looking forward to Game 2. Once again, this is Ben at Raven Dawn on Slack if you follow him. Bill at Bill Zeoli if you follow him on Slack. My name is Joshua Thompson at 4F Apollo with a capital A. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in for another special episode of the NBA Finals version of Sidelines Pass. We'll be signing off, and we'll be seeing you guys all for our live blog of Game 2.